Okay. Okay, I call this regular council meeting to order. And could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Jason Knight.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Place 4 J.R. Haskins.
Here.
Councilmember Place 1 Ruth Camarillo Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Place 2 Elise Chacon.
Here.
Councilmember Place 3 Luana Lulu Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there is a quorum of the council present to conduct this meeting.
Okay, thank you. And now could we all rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Dear Lord, we gather in gratitude to serve our community. May wisdom and respect guide our discussion, and may the spirit of cooperation inform our decisions as we work together for the well-being of all who call this city home. In your guiding presence, we proceed with purpose and goodwill. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now we're going to move into citizens' comments.
Good evening, Council. Hector Rios, 1044 South Commercial. I just want to kind of bring up something that Mia had brought up to y'all, and thinking about possibly, I think it can be done. I'm sure it can be done, and the cities around us have done really great success with having a parking permit. Conbron Harbor and the Lighthouse Lake Trails, we've got all that new work done into it that the citizens of Aransas Pass are all paying for. Now that new kayak park is going to get used more, there's going to be more people. There's restrooms out there. They're going to have to be cleaned. They're going to have to be sucked out. We're going to have to do a lot of things in which that all falls on the city of Aransas Pass. Now, our neighbors have done great with parking fees. They're doing wonder on the fort. And if y'all think about it, whenever we go to San Antonio, Houston, whatever, we got to pay for our parking fee. We're the only city that's kind of just giving it away. And I think, of course, there will be some bumps in the road. It won't be easy, but I think there could be a way that you could possibly start having a parking permit. We don't have like all the science, the science of, and it wouldn't be too much, but we can get out there and just ask people, where are you from? How many people in your group? And did you stay here in Aransas Pass tonight? I've been doing tourism for 24 years now. I get dozens of people a month that come out down here for the day. That's it. I can guarantee you the same thing's occurring over there. A lot of these guys from Beeville, Goliad, this hour and a half, 2-hour drives, even San Antonio, they're loading up Friday night. They're gassing up Friday night. They're grabbing tacos at their favorite place on their way down. They're coming using all of our resources, our boat ramp, pulling out that wet boat. All that salt water's getting on the asphalt. We're paying for all of that. Citizens of Aransas Pass. Then they're going to go to the fish cleaning station. Well, who paid for that? Citizens of Aransas Pass. They're going to use the water. Who's paying for that? Citizens of Aransas Pass. They're going to use the restroom. Who's paying for that? Citizens of Aransas Pass. We got to clean it and everything. The only thing they're leaving it, we're still having to flush it down. We can do this. I am really, really positive that it can be done. Will there be some bumps in the road? Absolutely. Is it going to be? But I think we can do it without having to hire anybody new. I think we can do it and can actually, generate some wonderful income that's not being generated by the citizens alone. Now, I love the idea about the fee for the streets that we're talking about, but it didn't go over all that great because a lot of people felt like, man, you're hitting me up again, and I kind of mentioned that at one of the meetings too. I said, man, you're hitting them up again. Let's hit the people that are come down here and using all of our resources for absolutely nothing. And there's only one way to put it for me. It's like, yeah, I want to separate them tourists from some of their money. They're using all of our resources. I make a living that way, and I really, truly would love for y'all to think about that, maybe try to put a plan together on how it can be done. If you're out there early in the morning, all the boats are all lined up right there in front of Mr. Chandler's shop because they got to wait for them. That'd be a great time to sit, even do some of the science, asking people, hey, how many days, how many people in your group? Did you stay in Aransas Pass? Or you got to buy a parking permit now, my good man. And if we do have a harbor master, if somebody's caught without it, we'll give them a ticket with an envelope, show us your receipt. Maybe some of the area convenience stores, Mr. Chandler has a store right there, they can sell the parking permit also. So I really think there's a way that it can be done, and I really encourage council to look into it. Let's get this money. You know, they're using all of our resources, and we're all paying for it, all of us. But the other cities around us are having great success. We do it all the time when we go to visit everybody else's city, San Antonio, Houston. We pay for all that parking. So I just wanted to put that into your ear. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your service. God bless you, and I love each and every one of you.
Thank you, Hector.
Thank you, Hector.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not much of a speaker, so I'm going to cut to the chase. On August 14th,
Hey, Tom, do me a favor, just state your name for the record.
Tom Collins
Thank
with
you.
Alliance Carpet Service.
Thank you, sir.
On August the 14th, I was called out to 1422 Dewberry to do a water extraction. Come to find out, it was a black water extraction where the city of Aransas Pass pumped 2 to 3 inches into the resident's house. And whenever I say sewer, there was literally toilet paper floating around in this house, throughout the whole house. I did the water damage cleanup. We had to cut out the sheetrock. We had to remove the flooring, cut out the sheetrock 2 feet up. It was a total mess. Miss Mary said that the city was going to take care of it, and David Flores back here stated it, and it was on the news that they were responsible for the cleanup. And now, from what I understand, the city of Aransas Pass, their insurance company come back and said that, or they denied the claim for the city of Aransas Pass, which that's between the insurance company and the city of Aransas Pass. They're denying my invoice, saying they're not going to pay it. All I'm asking for, I'm not trying to bash the city. I'm a small business here in town. All I'm asking for is for y'all to consider, before it has to go to attorneys or to any further, to pay my invoice. I did my job. If I get a water bill from the city of Aransas Pass, I pay it, or I get fined, or I get my water turned off. I'm asking y'all to get together. From what I understand, there's some kind of legal form that y'all can't talk amongst each other on this. I've showed the video. I gave it to Miss Mary. From what I understand, y'all's attorneys don't even know much about it at all. I sent the video to Miss Mary and Jason. The attorney just told me that he was not aware of this video. I wanted to present this video from Channel 6 News, where it states that David Flores said that as soon as they get the invoice, it'll be taken care of. And it's not been taken care of. Just asking y'all to get it together and see if we can get this invoice taken care of. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I'm not much of a public speaker, but I'm going to let Mr. Dawson here, it was his grandmother's house that was flooded, and she's been out. So I'm going to let him take his 3 minutes of speak.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Vance Dawson. Yes, my grandmother lives at 1422 West Dewberry. On August 14th, I got a phone call from my grandmother at about 8:30 a.m. stating that there was sewage coming up in her inside of her house. I thought my grandma was going a little bit nuts. She's at level 4 liver failure. She has been since 2016. I got over to my grandmother's house after getting my kids to school on their first day, Stephen F. Austin and Gregory. There was plenty of water all throughout this entire house to where I walked in and I could not wear my shoes anymore. The city of Aransas was out there. As y'all do know back over here, Mr. Flores, the city of Aransas was out there. I don't know which direction it would be, but closer towards Commercial, if I'm not mistaken. Further from Avenue A, going the other way. They were trying to pump right there because they could not get the water hole or the manhole open that's in her driveway to turn off her water. This water kept on coming up throughout every single hole that you can expect inside this house. Sinks, toilets, bathtubs, showers. We've simply asked the city to, you know, like Mr. Collins said, is take care of what they said they were going to take care of, which is on video, which the attorney today does not want us to show because he says that it's not public. It's been public since August 14th. This is something that I'm not a very sue happy person. I come from a business line that a lot of people like to sue me. I will say that I have reached out to legal. I hope it does not have to get there. I do want to state that I had to sit here and talk to my grandmother about every single item inside this house. And also, mind you, I believe this was not the first time this has happened. I had to sit here and talk to my grandmother inside of my house after the city of Aransas Pass stated that they would pay for her to go stay somewhere, which thankfully they ain't paying for it now because it'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars considering her condition. Yet I had to sit there and talk to my 69-year-old grandmother who just lost her son 4 years ago, my dad, about every item inside this house that meant something to her, to put a value on this item, what it was, exactly what it was, how far back, when did she buy it, how much did it cost, because that's what we were told to do by the city. The city did not come out to the house. Again, I was called at 8 a.m. The city did not come out to the house until they heard that the news was coming over. The city then came out to the house, which was Miss Mary, Mayor Knight. Thank y'all for coming out. Mr. Flores, the only person to walk inside that house was Mr. Flores. He got to the master bedroom and said, this house is completely messed up, if I'm not mistaken. He said this house is completely messed up. I was at 4 o'clock. The water kept running, mind you, from midnight until about 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, I am a small business owner, sadly. I didn't choose to be. My dad left it to me on his passing. But if I was the city manager running the city like a business, I would have been out there whenever this problem occurred, as I mentioned to you that day, Miss Mary. At the moment that this problem occurred, and I would have taken care of measures the way that they should have been taken care of. It is now December 15th, 4 months from the day that this has occurred. I did take my grandma into my house. She does live with me. Well, she's actually living up in San Antonio now at a rehab facility. Again, thankfully y'all are not paying for that because if y'all were, it'd be a lot more than what it is. If we can please find something to do about this and somebody give me a contact. There's plenty of y'all here that know my number, that know my name, know where I work. All I want to do is do the right thing, get my grandma's stuff paid for, and get her back in her home. God bless you.
Thank you, Vance.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay. Jason Followell. So, government officials who knowingly exceed constitutional limits are tyrannical. I got an email from Mary last week that Mr. Perkins investigated himself and his officers and found themselves not guilty for the mother that was tased a couple of years ago. I spoke with Mr. Perkins before. Probable cause must be based on specific, articulating facts, not assumptions. Mr. Perkins, you agreed on that. Yet you watched the videos and and you said that nobody was guilty. None of the officers could be held accountable for their actions. However, even in the videos, if you just go by the videos, which there was more evidence than just the videos, in the videos, did any officer witness the bus being blocked? The answer is no, right? Officers didn't come onto scene until after the lady left to the next bus stop with other citizens. In the video, did any officer speak to the witness? The answer is no. In the video, they all get together and say, we need to interview the witness, and they never did. What does that mean? Nobody ever spoke to the witness. Nobody ever identified the witness. No officer on scene knew who the witness was. Do you have probable cause based just on that? The answer is no. The bus driver supervisor was interviewed 12 days after the incident. What did she say in the video? The lady was not identified. Okay. Was the bus driver interviewed? Should have been on body cam. The answer is no. She was never interviewed. She did turn in a statement 12 days later. What did that statement say? She didn't talk to the witness, she didn't hear the witness, and she never identified the witness. So who is your witness that identified the lady in order for her to be a perp, to have probable cause? No one. So what did they do? They assaulted her, battered her, kidnapped her kid, threw her in jail, and ruined her life. And I gave you a chance to do the right thing and hold people accountable, and you refused to do it. Conclusion. APD leadership, you either do not know how to investigate, you don't know how, which makes you incompetent for your job, or you are a government official who knowingly exceeds constitutional limits and is tyrannical. Which one are you? You're either incompetent or you're a tyrant. In that case, Mary, it's your job to fire him. And if you cannot fire him, it's your job to fire Mary and your job to fire him. The evidence is here, and y'all can go through it, Mr. Randy Haskins. Everything I said on here is 100% accurate. Yes, sir. Never identified was that lady identified, ever. Ever. Don't shake your head at me. She was never identified, not one time. Nobody interviewed her, and no officer on scene was there when she committed the crime, allegedly. Y'all ruined a mother's life just for publicity because of Chief Blanchard. Congratulations. Do something about it. Fire that motherfucker. Thank you. Do the right thing.
Anybody else wish to speak? Okay. All right, now we're going to move into presentations.
The first presentation that we have is a presentation on the police and the fire renovation project. As the council will recall, the engineering contract for this project was awarded back in July, and that was awarded to Chesney Morales Partners. Since that time, their team has worked closely with city staff on this project. So today, Mr. Walters is here with Chesney Morales to give an update on the project, including the timeline and some estimated project costs.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jason Walters with Chesney Morales Partners.
Mary, can we get the mics turned up? I can't even hear people out here.
I can try to talk louder too, sorry.
One or the other.
So tonight I'm here to present the fire and police station renovation addition. This is just a cover sheet right here. I think everyone has a copy of this too as well. The next slide is basically just your existing conditions. This is just kind of your overall site plan right now. So you have your existing apparatus bay kind of at the top of the sheet, and then the municipal court building below that is your existing, and then the dashed line at the bottom of that is where we're kind of at right now. So this your existing site plan, your existing parking lot, and then your community garden down there, and then the top part is behind, in the back part, your municipal court there. So I just kind of want to give you an overview of your existing site plan on this sheet right here. And then if we can go to the next sheet, sorry. So this is what we're proposing as far as the new construction site plan. At the very top, we're looking at a new fire department 2-story addition. So we have the 2-story addition up there with a new driveway and a new parking lot that would be for visitor parking up there. And so that will be visitor parking, a new 2-story fire department. And then we're going to have to relocate that existing fire department driveway. So we have a new apparatus driveway right there. That would be kind of a straight shot now instead of a curve that you had existing currently. And then there is an alternate right now that we're proposing for our apparatus base, or extending that apparatus base 60 feet, 40 by 60 feet. But that's an alternate at this time. And then the existing apparatus bay is behind that in gray that you see there. And then right below that, we have a police department, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, from what I can barely hear of you, you said something about an alternative apparatus bay besides the one in orange or pink, whatever it is, to add it to gray.
So, I can't really point to it, so.
That's right.
So that point right there, so the gray one right now is the existing fire apparatus bay. And then
The
to
pink and the gray.
and the gray part. And to the left of that would be a proposed alternate apparatus bay. And that's a 40-foot by 60-foot.
Show me that on there. I see a two-story
So
addition.
the two-story addition is the actual fire department building. So that would be the actual fire department addition. And then right below that, you have the gray building, that's the fire apparatus, that's existing right now. Currently, your fire apparatus bay, where your fire trucks are in right now. And then to the left of that would be a proposed alternate fire apparatus bay extension. And maybe I can point, I don't know if it'll, no, it won't. I don't know if it'll work on the screen now.
Where is it? Where's it gonna be? This?
This is the current apparatus bay, and this is the extension, proposed extension. This is the new facility.
Yeah, but that's a two-story.
Yeah. This is the apparatus bay.
So instead of going your driveway all the way in, you're talking about adding this on and shortening your driveway?
Yes.
Well, okay, thank you.
No, you're fine.
I got you now.
Yeah, and it's easier if I just point it out here. It's hard to do it by just talking.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
I have a question. Did you say the second story will be for visitor parking?
No, sorry. In front of the fire department building, there's gonna be visitor parking. So that where you see all the parking stripes in front of it, it's gonna be visitor parking for
So-
the fire department.
So what will encompass that two-story building? What will be on the top level?
So when we get further into it, I'll show you what will be inside the floor plan.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I just understood you said the top level would be visitor parking.
No, sorry.
No, that's fine. No worries.
And maybe I can go like this too, if that helps at all.
Oh, I can see it fine.
So, this piece right here that's in blue, that's gonna be the new police department edition. In blue here. And then your existing police department, building that's municipal court building, we're gonna do some minor renovations in that. And then we have a proposed alternate for parking down here in the bottom. If you wanna go to the next slide, maybe that would kinda help too. So this is kind of an overview, a general overview of what the floor plan's gonna look like. It may help to go to the next slide if you would like. So this will be your renovation of the municipal court. The blue area is gonna be the police department addition. So we're looking at adding on a training facility with some storage and providing a new lobby there, a new reception area, and a restroom and an interview room. So we'll have a new entrance that comes into that area. And then as you go back through there, all the blue grayish area is your existing fire department where the cursor is. And we're gonna convert that to the police department area. So now we're gonna have new offices back there for the police department, and we're gonna renovate that area with new flooring, new ceilings, and we're gonna put some new restrooms in that area and new office spaces in that area. So we're gonna modify that for the police department, and we're gonna modify the dispatch area to create an office space in that area as well.
So the police department will go from how many square footage to what?
We're adding, let's see, 5,516 square feet.
And the fire department is going how big?
The fire department, the new fire department is going to be 8,248 square feet. The addition is going to be 21,030 square feet.
Yeah, just I was gonna say that what they got proposed and new for the police department is 2,100 square foot. That's new.
So the other things that we're doing inside the police department, inside the holding cells, we're adding a new epoxy flooring in there. And we're also doing some refreshing, painting the ceilings and painting the walls. And then on the municipal court side, we're redoing the lights and the ceilings in the municipal court. And then there's some minor modifications we're doing down into the office space down in the bottom left. So that's kind of all the renovation work that we're doing inside. So the next page. So on this slide we have the existing fire apparatus bay at the bottom right. On that, we're going to repaint the inside. We're also redoing the metal roof on top, so we'll have a new metal roof on top. And then on to the left of that, that's where I was talking about the new proposed alternate to extend the fire apparatus bay. And then on top of that, that's the first floor of the fire department. So that would have all your admin area. So you have your lobby as you come in, and then your admin at the top. And then it has the day room, kitchen area in the bottom, in the middle. And then on everything on the right side will have your weight room, your SCBA storage, bunker gear, all the kind of admin fire equipment in the bottom floor. And then there'll be a fire pole and the stair to go upstairs to the dorm room. Any questions on that floor?
Chief, how many women firefighters do we have?
0.
Do we have any women firefighters?
We do not. That's just a lay. Well,
You can go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So we've allocated for one female dorm. If there's ever a need for a female firefighter, it could be a male if you needed to until you had one, I guess.
No, the reason I ask is the facilities. It'd be nice if we could have a designated facility for a female in the event we ever get a female.
Yeah, it's right here.
So
They got a
on the
female
second
restroom
floor,
and a,
I see
We have
unisex.
the male, and then we have one allocated female dorm with their own female restroom.
Okay, perfect.
here, turn here and see it.
Oh, female dorm. So that would have, okay.
Is this PD or the fire department? Is PD? I know, but is this PD or fire department?
Right here.
And then on this floor, we also have a day room upstairs where they can hang, where the
Okay.
firefighters can hang
Okay.
out upstairs as
Sir,
well.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Again, I can't hear you, but I'm trying to stay
Try
up
to
with you.
speak down here then.
On the page here where it's got training facility, 10,042 square foot. And sir, it probably has nothing to do with you. I'm hard of hearing, so that's my problem.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my question is this, and Keith, maybe you can help me here. Why do we have a 10,042 square foot training facility when we have a civic center over there to train all we want? Why isn't this used for making your offices bigger or something?
I'm kind of with Randy with that also. I mean, if it's, the civic center's right there. We've been using it for trainings since the civic center was built, and I don't know how much money that would save if we need the extra room for something, great. If we don't, we could scrap it and reallocate that money to something else in the project.
Either that or make your offices bigger, or give you some more room there instead of using it for training when we have a big building for it.
Mayor, Councilman Haskins, a lot of times that training room is needed for a lot of in-house training, and a lot of times there's scheduling conflicts with the Civic Center. Maybe they might be unavailable, or there may be an associated fee, which has kind of been common practice too.
Oh, we could handle the fee. I mean, 'cause I agree.
That would be fantastic.
We
A
shouldn't
lot-
have one city department paying to use a city building. I
Sure.
mean, I'd be against that any day of the week.
Yeah, I support that, but a lot of times it's also scheduling conflicts.
Well, scheduling can be
Yeah.
overcome. I mean,
If it's in-house.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm just wondering why, if you have this much space and you're needing more space, why are we letting that sit stagnant and using only every once in a while
Sure. And
instead of something that can be used all the time?
And
Yeah.
I don't want to step on Chief Perkins's toes. This is for a police department edition.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
training
talking
room.
about.
You know, it's a multi-purpose room. It's not just for training. It could be used for briefings or whatever, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's also space that the PD desperately needs also.
And I thought you guys were gonna commingle
Thank you.
it too, is what I understood.
Yeah, you know, FD's gonna be performing training, conducting training there.
Okay.
Judge.
Give
Hey,
the
Judge.
judge more room.
No, my court is on use all the time for in-house training. And then the Civic Center is also in use for in-house training. And from what I understand, they are charged to do training. Is that correct? Most of the time. They have to pay the Civic Center all the time to do training over there. And they invite other departments to come and do training over here from all over the state. And so the court is not big enough to house the trainings a lot of the times. And so they do need a bigger facility. They do need a bigger
Well, the
facility.
judge that's-
Because what they spend paying the Civic Center, they could do it in their own facility.
Well, and plus they wouldn't be having to work around the Civic Center schedule.
Well, that's-
and then they have their own
Well,
space
then
to
that's
use.
another problem. We
Yes.
bring somebody from another department. The police department's not in the business of making money, so they can't charge somebody from San Antonio coming down for training. That's the other problem.
The thing is, we have a city building that's not being utilized to its full capacity, and it's imperative that we use the resources that we have at hand.
Yeah.
And it may be a small inconvenience at times scheduling, possibly, but if it's planned accordingly and with plenty of time, I'm sure that 95% of the stuff can get scheduled in accordingly. And I agree with Jason. There's no reason why any department within our city should have to pay to use a building that belongs to the city.
Yeah, I think somebody out of town, yeah, make them pay. But like, I mean,
Are we
It
charging the
just
other?
makes no sense.
This
Department-
has been going on for
I know. I
guess
for
this
a
is a different
while,
subject.
for
I
a
know,
long
yes.
time.
We're getting off subject.
And not only
No,
my
we're
court
not
is
either.
also used by the police department. It's also used by the fire department. So if they're not using the Civic Center, they're using the court. But the court can only house so many people, and so sometimes they don't have any choice but to go to the Civic Center, and they do get charged, like I said, all the time.
Well, I mean, this is something that could go to and it's not really a purchase order system, but it's an expense system where you're going to use a Civic Center because of the electricity, the water, and all that kind of stuff. Because even if you have your own building, you're going to have to pay for water and sewer and what have you. Just expense it in a way to where the department pays for that, but yet they're not really paying for it.
I think probably.
Because at the end of the day, it's all a city expense.
I think what we ought to do, this could be something Mary could look at, that way we can just keep this presentation moving along and
Yeah,
not staying
I
stuck
mean,
on it.
Yeah, I can do that, but
Yeah.
I know that Ms. Kaling is here to speak on the charge. There is a fee to city departments to use the Civic Center. It's minimal. It ranges anywhere from $75 to maybe $100.
Yes, Mayor and Council, we are trying to be constantly very cognizant of interdepartmental use of the facility. It is written that we do, by policy, get things cleared by city manager. So if ever we receive an interdepartmental request for a comp space, we ask our city manager. We have a good working relationship there. There are quite a few trainings that take place through the police department. A lot of those sometimes are associated with they're receiving some funding for conducting those trainings, and so therefore it's fair to pay a minimal rate. We have a discounted $75 a day rate for that. We have things like hourly rates. We can absolutely work through whatever would work with the fire department. We would just need to sit down and have that type of discussion.
Okay, thank you,
And we
Kayla.
can have that discussion.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that way we can.
So we can move through
get
the
something figured out.
presentation.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Chief, one more. Chief, if this is used for a training facility, how many people can you get in here? Yeah. 40? How big are your trainings? Okay, do they pay this police department to be trained? Who pays the trainers? Who pays the trainer?
We have several in-house trainers. There are ones that we try to bring in, maybe one or two, like this year, we want to bring in someone that deals with leadership, and that leadership training we pay for, and everybody comes in, but we're paying for it because we have people that we are fitting for this.
I withdraw my complaint.
Really?
Okay, I'm good.
No.
All right.
Okay. Next slide.
Yes, ma'am. On this slide, we have the exterior elevations. The very top one is the front elevation, kind of like if you're standing in the parking lot. On the very right side is the city hall, and that's kind of your tower with the clay tile. What we're trying to do when we were looking at the original design was try to keep with the stucco exterior and kind of the original architecture. So you have those bands and you have your stucco. You have the clay tile, which we are going to take off, repair, because there's some damage up there. So there's some funds in there to remove the clay tile, repair that, and put it back. And then back to my original thing, we are on the new design. We're proposing to kind of mimic the stucco, the bands, and I can't really point to it from here, but on the new design of the fire station and if we do the apparatus bay addition, we are taking those bands across, so they do go all the way across. So they'll kind of follow all the way across. So there is some kind of repetition and kind of going all the way across. And then we have those kind of pillars that you see that are similar what you can see outside currently. So we're trying to take that same mimic of the architecture and bring it into the new fire station. And then on the fire station, which we'll see in the renderings pretty soon, we try to create a tower, kind of like something that kind of stands out. And then we try to add some color, kind of with the red, kind of with the fire, in different shades of red, for the fire station, kind of to give it a little color and something that kind of stands out as you're looking out in the street. The roof on that one would be an aluminum roof, just to withstand the sea, the ocean out here. See, and then the middle part of the police station, we also looked at doing some what we call a fiber cement board, and that would be different shades of blue on that, so that way it distinguishes from the police and the fire, and we'll see in the renderings coming up. That middle one is kind of a side view. So again, you have the front that has the colored tower, and then the side you have a colored tower as well. And in that side view is kind of where your stair is, so that's kind of why you have the large window there. And then the second to last elevation is the back side of the building. So that is kind of just, and then we are proposing to repaint the existing building as well as the new, just so that it all has the same
Uniform.
color and uniform. And then the mural, we're proposing to leave the mural as is. We didn't want to touch the mural. One thing I did want to point out, when we do the demolition in the front, we will be removing that tower that says police, or I think it says police department, that has the clay tile, and they will have a new police department entry in it. I guess we can go to the next slide. So this is kind of one of the renderings that you see here. So that's the entry for the police station and the new apparatus bay kind of in front of that, and your existing city hall behind that one. We took off the canopy that goes back that way, and then you can kind of see the fire station in the background behind that. Next slide. And then this would be the fire station with the red kind of to help pop that out. And then we'd have, we were trying to bring some of the metal from the fire, from the apparatus bay and bring it into the fire station as well, so that kind of the language kind of ties together. And then as far as the signage, we put the Aransas Pass fire there with the emblem on top of that.
I like the red.
Thank you. And those would be different shades of red, is what we're
Nice.
thinking. Next slide. And that's kind of the side view and the front view. And the next slide. And then that would be the police department entry. Next slide. And then we just kind of wanted to give you what the night view would possibly look like. We kind of wanted to lighten up that tower image and kind of bring some light behind Aransas Pass. And we thought it would be nice to kind of make that red kind of glow at night, so that way it stands out. So we wanted to kind of show you what that would possibly look like.
How much space is the police department gaining from the renovation?
I said it was, earlier I said it was 5,516, but that's not correct, because that's the total renovation. I may have to get back to you, because what, they're gaining 2,130 square feet is what they're gaining.
2,130 square feet? Okay. Is that good, Chief Perkins? Okay.
They're gaining
2130 plus the training facility?
It's 2130
Okay.
plus this 30.
Okay. How much is that total?
I don't have it yet.
You don't have it? Okay. Just be good to know. That's fine.
I can get that for Mary, and then she can get that to you.
Okay.
We can go to the next slide. It's just, and this is just more pictures of what it would look like at night. And then the next slide. And then we have one more that shows kind of possible interior photos of the lobby. So this is kind of what we're thinking of the lobby, where as you come into the fire department, it would have kind of a metal slats that come from the ceiling and then down the wall, and then have maybe like a display, like a TV display where you could put different functions or something that's going on with the, in the city or with the
Is this that new training facility, the 1,000?
That's the new training facility in the top that was mentioned.
I have a question. Specifically on that training facility of 2,100 square feet, how much is that costing the city?
I think it's 1,000.
It's a
It's
1,000 square feet.
It's 1,000 square feet?
The addition is 21.
No, I said 2,000.
No, it's 1,000.
How much is that costing the city for that 1,000 square feet?
It's in the back, but it's $968,096.
Yeah.
For 1,000 square feet of space?
No, it's for 21. It's for 2,100
That's
square
what I
feet.
thought you had said. So almost $1 million for 2,000 square feet. Is that correct?
Correct. I don't know if you want to show
Want me
the
to play the
video.
video? Okay.
So we did a little video just to show you what it.
You still okay with that, Randy?
Which part?
$1 million for 2,000 square feet.
I was looking that up. Is that 2,000 or is it 1,000?
2,100 for $1 million. Almost $1 million.
You didn't have any more on the back side? Photographs on the back side, sir?
Say that one more time.
You didn't have any photographs or video or on the back side of this?
Video, we can get it to you.
Oh, the back side, I'm not seeing any.
On the video, no, but I can get that for you. The backside was kind of plain, that's why we didn't show it that much. But we can definitely get that for you. I think the only one we really had is this elevation, but I can add that and
That my
send it to Mary
question was,
for a colored rendering.
how much is
Do,
the extension
please.
on the training facility costing us? It's costing us $900,000.
Why does the police department
No,
lobby
my
look
question
so
was-
much darker
Yes,
than
that's costing us
the
$1 million.
the fire department lobby?
I'm not
Is
okay.
it, is there any
It
more
could just be the rendering.
lighting?
It could be the lighting that we have in the
We're
rendering.
not thinking nothing. The question was, how much is this and I even asked, so you're telling me it's costing us almost $1 million for 2,100 square feet, and he said yes. I am not okay with that.
Are you talking about the training facility?
It's gonna cost us almost $1 million.
It's
That's
not what they're talking about. They're talking about the total.
He said it was 2,100 square feet.
The building itself
It's still
is
almost $1 million. That's a lot of
$21,30
money
the whole
for
building.
little square footage.
Is what
I think the question asked was the training facility.
Yeah, but it-
10,042 square
But
feet.
you have to take in the whole building is, because it's the whole building itself. The whole addition is 2130.
Okay.
Right, for $1 million.
So the cost for the whole building is
want me to go to the cost
960.
estimate?
Yeah, I might as well go there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
me, this is just my personal opinion. I think almost $1 million for 2,100 square feet is excessive.
Well, that would be.
That's just my personal opinion. I think that's, how much is that per square foot?
That's what I'm doing right now.
I'm with you. I see.
Hold on.
Look.
I can't see it. 400?
Jason.
It's about 450, and that's because it's pretty small, and so it's going to be a little higher.
Yeah. That's
That's about 450 a square foot. That is outrageous, in my personal opinion. But I don't make all the decisions, but I do have my opinion.
No, that's why now anything that we gotta bring up, we still got till March before the trigger
Yeah,
is pulled
if
on this.
it's up
so-
to me, that ain't happening.
No, I-
Chief, I love y'all, I do, both of y'all, but that needs to be re-looked at and reworked, because that $450 per square foot, almost $1 million for 2,100 square feet, that's crazy.
What is it that you'd like to see, Ms. Martin?
I would like to see maybe something more reasonable, talk to a realtor and see what the average square footage for this type of project would cost. And if it's $250 a square foot, fine. If it's 300 square foot, I'm okay with that. But to pay $450 a square foot, to me, just seems outrageous. Unless that's the going rate, but I would like to confirm that that is the going rate, if that is the
Well,
case.
the problem you got when you talk to like someone building a house, the price changes when municipal gets put in there. And
Yeah,
that's
'cause
just
they
how it
think we
is.
got
Somebody
money.
finds out they're building for a city,
I mean, it's a
that price
smaller
per square
foot,
foot
that's
goes
why
up.
we're
That's
paying
just,
a little
that's
bit higher.
unfortunate. That's how it is.
Well, that was
I
crazy
mean,
too.
I have the cost broken down per item, per division. It's not like I didn't do it per square foot. I did it per division. So I had it like all the demo costs in there. I have it per like whatever per building slab, per roof material,
Th-
per linear foot of.
This might help Councilmember Martin some. Do you have contingency built into any of this?
I have 10%
There you go.
of design contingency, and then I have 5% owner contingency in
Okay.
there. So that would go down on the next time. I'll probably do 5% contingency for design once we start getting more into it.
Yeah. Okay.
The one that's working real close with that is Assistant Chief Aaron Jones. And from what I understand, it will also serve as the emergency operations center.
Right, and I get that. I'm hung up on the price of $450 a square foot. I'm severely hung up on that. I would like more clarification and more information if that, in fact, is the going rate for this type of project. If it
What we
is,
can do,
great.
I mean, as
If
Ms.
it's not, then I would like to have that revisited. But I think we need to research that and see. Yeah.
Because they
That
were
just seems
going
excessive to me.
take over the court, and they were gonna add on to the back, but it was not feasible because then they were going to reduce the court size, and so the only way that they were able to do the training facility was to add to the front.
Right, and I understand there's gonna be additional costs with demo and all that kind of stuff, but, let's just say an example, if the going rate's $150 a square foot, and we can add demo and what have you to it, I'd be willing to do $250 a square foot, but $450 a square foot,
Well, why don't we, I
That's
know that
scary.
Mr. Walters mentioned that he had a breakdown. We can get that to you.
that'd be great.
I know this has nothing to do with me, but I do want to throw my 2 cents because I kind of feel like they need a little bit of defending in terms of fire department. So to get that, like, you're not approving a construction project, you're approving a budget. So you're trying to look at what's it going to cost. If it's going to cost $1 million, there's a good chance if you go out for bids, you might get somebody for $280 a square foot, or $300 or $449. Like, you don't know what it's going to be because right now you're not approving the construction contract. But the thing is that they can give you any number they want. If you want to see 500,000, we can put it. But if they go out for bids and it comes in at 900,000, now you're going to be shorting your budget. You're going to have to come for amendment, and you're going to be doing change orders, things of that sort. So right now you're just kind of looking more of like a budget, and then when you go out for bids, at that point you keep your fingers crossed, hoping somebody comes at $300 or $250 a square
And
foot.
that's true.
And that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Once
so right now
the
you're just-
bids get unsealed, then you'll know what the
Because you don't want to
square
be on the
footage
other side of the
price is.
spectrum where you cut this
Where you're under.
this imaginary budget down, and then the real numbers come in, and now we have to revisit it and find another $300,000 somewhere. And I'm
That makes
just-
sense.
And like I said, even though it has nothing to do with me, I just wanted to throw that.
I would like to
Thanks.
see it right
Thank you, David.
Yeah, and David, I appreciate that, I do. But it's kind of like when we talked to Nueces Water, and we talked about how with that contract they wanted us to sign, and they couldn't give us a rate, all they could say between $10 and $15. Whatever. Well, in 3 years, why would they come in at 10 when we basically would have given them a permission slip to charge us up to 15?
Well,
That's the same difference in this.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, Lynn.
In my
but
opinion.
It's like these guys, they're not the contractor, they're just designing.
They're just
So
designing.
Whenever we open the bids, that's when we'll know what the contractors are gonna
This is
charge.
just an
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a rough
Okay.
estimate with some contingency built into the
Thank you.
price.
I don't mean to be
No, no, you're
disrespectful
fine.
at
No,
all.
you're fine. And I misspoke earlier. I said a 10% design contingency. I actually reduced it to 5% because I didn't want to.
Oh, there it is right there. Okay. All right.
And what I can try to do is send this out to a contractor, a couple contractors that we know, just to see the feel that I get. But I think the square foot per cost that I'm seeing is around $350, which is what I feel comfortable with out there. The overall square foot cost, when I add up the whole square foot together, it's around $350.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to do the last slide, the timeline?
Yeah. I didn't go through all the cost, but that's fine. It's in there, and then the alternates are also in there too, that we
Yeah.
added in there too. And then the timeline. So we have 75% construction due January 23rd, and then we have 100% construction March 13th. And then from there, we talked about going to City Council for approval of a contractor RFP, and that would be March 16th. And then the final construction documents would be submitted March 27th. And at that time, we could send it out to contractors to bid. Contractors to bid. And then from there, we would have a pre-bid conference, site visit, have them come out here, walk the site, probably the week of April 13th, around that time frame. And then the RFP, the bid documents, we'd ask from the contractors May 1st time frame. And then once we get those documents, we estimate about 2 weeks for a review. Either, I don't know who would do that review process, but probably about 2-week process for that. And then we estimated council approval for the contractor May 18th. And then we'd send out a notice of award to the contractor on the 19th. And then from there, the contract between the contractor and the owner, we normally see about a month for that. I don't know how that normally works or how long that takes for the city of Aransas Pass. And then construction time, we're thinking about 16 months just because of the phasing with dispatch and the renovation part. Usually it's about 12 months for the new construction. We're thinking with the fire department, and then maybe 6 months with the renovation.
Good. All right.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll keep going, and then we'll get everything straightened out on our end, just keep trucking
So
along.
I'll owe you the,
Yeah,
Just
say
wanna
no.
see the rear-
backside,
the rear
and
side,
I owe
yeah.
you a square footage of that.
Yeah, I'll
Yes,
say
thank you.
everybody can give it to you, and if we give departments and keep trucking along,
Okay.
see this thing get built. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mary, when this construction starts, do we have a plan on where we're gonna place everybody?
I think we talked about a transition plan.
Well, we'll show phasing plans
Yes.
in our
Okay.
construction documents, so the contractor knows where, and we're gonna have to coordinate that
Yeah.
in our next phase of construction drawing.
All right,
But we did
thank
talk
you.
about it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're gonna have an update on the Euclid Pump Station. Yay, another one.
Mayor and Council. I do want to introduce Carlos Montalvo with ICE Engineering. He's a smart junk fine gentleman to work with. So he does have a presentation to show you guys on the
Thank you.
the Euclid pump station. It's a little different than what originally was designed, but there are some existing problems that we need to resolve, and this should get us there.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Hello, Mayor, Council. My name is Carlos Montalvo. I'm with International Consulting Engineers. We go by ICE. As you mentioned, with the project manager for this design project. We are the design firm. I just wanted to give you a little overview of what we've done so far, what's transpired. I know some of the council members, I believe, weren't involved when we came on board on this project. So basically, you know, as you can see from our rendering here, it's a little different from what was initially thought. When we first came out here, David and I, and along with some of our other team members, went out during, it was a tropical storm. It was a tropical storm, and we saw it live and got to see everything that was happening. And what you have is you have, you know, your channel, your canal, your concrete line ditch, where all your water gets channeled through and then goes into the pump station. And then once the pumps are turned on, it gets pushed into the ditch that's directly next to the mobile home community. And then from there, it's supposed to get pushed into the navigation district area. And what we're noticing, originally we wanted to upgrade the pumps and upgrade the entire facility. And as we were out there, we noticed that it's really not the pumps that are the problem. It's the direction that the water is going. And what's happening is your water is going directly towards your mobile community. And it was just basically circling around there and filling up that ditch and never getting to the navigation district. So what we're proposing is we are still going to upgrade one of the pumps, and we are going to put a long pipe running from the pump into the navigation district's bay there. We're also going to upgrade the existing concrete wall that's right there at the navigation district. We're going to put a flap gate so that the water cannot backwash into the channel as it's happening currently. And then another upgrade we're going to do is we're going to add a sluice gate a little further up from the pipes, the outfall pipes. And the purpose of that sluice gate is we want to have an intake for that channel. So as the water is coming and rising, we're going to intake it back into the pump station and then go back out the way it's supposed to go. So how did we get here? You know, we originally, like we mentioned, we were going to upgrade the entire pump station with Ms. Mary, David, and GrantWorks. GrantWorks is the grant administration for this project. This project is GLO funded, and so with that, a lot of the constraints come from all the GLO reviews and process. So when we were brought on, the total grant amount for this project is, oh, there we go. Oh, thank you. The total grant amount for this project is $5,086,700. Now that includes a construction budget of $4,182,152. And then the engineering and administration, grant administration, is roughly about $904,548. And all of that is through the grant. I believe the GLO grant is a 1%, cost to the city, I believe, from that 1% match. Thank you. And so we, International Consulting Engineers, you can go to the next one, please. We were contracted to do the engineering work. And like I mentioned, when we went out there, this is from when we were there during the tropical storm, and the water was just flowing. It wasn't going anywhere where it was supposed to. And so we decided, okay, we need to rethink this. We went through it. Go to the next one, please. So we completed our topographical survey back in November of 2024. After that, then we submitted our 30% engineering design to GLO and GrantWorks. And at that point is where we kind of started to see a little bit of back and forth between GLO, HUD, and all the people who are providing the funds. Bless you.
Thank you.
What was noticed is that the facility itself, in order to upgrade the facility, because it's in a FEMA flood zone area, if we were to upgrade more than 50% of the facility itself, we would have to raise the entire site above the flood elevation, which I believe was about 10 feet. Which, looking at the cost and looking at the logistics of raising the facility, redoing the road, redoing everything in there, we would use all the budget to fix all that and not be able to fix the actual drainage problem. So we went back and forth, had a few meetings with the city, had a few meetings with GLO, GrantWorks, and tried to determine how can we still utilize these funds, still meet the need, which is the drainage improvements, and not have to waste all the money raising the building without improving it. And so that's why we came up with, improving some parts of the building, of the facility itself, and then doing more of the work outside of it. The initial environmental review was completed in July of 2025, and that's where they found all of these setbacks. So we had to go back to the drawing board, and then here in October, actually, was when the appraisal for the building was completed and the environmental reassessment was done. If you go to the next slide, please. So at that point, once we got our direction from Ms. Mary and Mr. Flores, as well as GLO and GrantWorks, we started working on a redesign. And so we're working on a redesign, had to basically kind of scrap our initial plan and kind of figure out how can we get this water through. So currently right now, we're still at about 30%. We're anticipating to have our 60% drawings done by February, and it could be sooner. The reason why we're saying by February is because we're waiting on GLO and GrantWorks to complete their reassessment of the environmental factors. How much permitting are we going to need? What are environmental historical entities are we going to have to contact? Things like that. And we are going to have to get some permits from the railroad to utilize their existing culverts. We have been, through Mr. Flores, we have been in contact with the navigation district. As we get a little further along, we are going to have some more meetings with them to kind of make sure that we, everyone's okay with everything that we're going to be doing. And then we're also, once we get the environmental clearance, then we can continue on our 60% and get that done. So we're anticipating our environmental clearance to be done by February. And so we're working in conjunction to get our 60% done by February. If they come back in January with the approval, then we'll have our plans for 60% ready before February. And then the timeline will move forward from there. We're anticipating right now at this juncture 100% design in April of 2026. And then once we get that 100% design and it's approved by the city to go out for bids, then we're going to look to advertise in May of 2026. And hopefully, once it's awarded, we get the notice to proceed, begin construction of June of 2026, and be completely done by December of 2026. Does anybody have any questions on any of the timeline or anything so far?
Yeah, I guess, is the railroad gonna do anything about those culverts and the cross ties inside of them? Have y'all heard anything? Because I'm sure you've seen it, you've been down there, those 4 culverts, got those railroad ties in them. And I know me and David been talking about those things forever.
So the railroad is fun to work with.
Yeah.
They're another one where their permitting process takes a while. Usually they don't like anybody to mess with the road itself. So our goal is we're saying, hey, we just want to go through your existing pipes, not going to touch anything else. And that'll help them too. And what we notice is they put their pipes higher than the outfall, the existing outfall, and they do that because they don't want their railroad to get flooded.
Yeah.
But it affects everybody around it. So if we can go through it, not mess with the railroad, everyone will be happy. So we're anticipating that we should be able to do that. We probably won't. I don't know that we'll be able to take out those ties that are inside there, but if they want us to put additional flap gates or things, so debris doesn't get caught in there, that's more than acceptable to do, as long as we can still get the water through there to go out through the navigation district.
Okay.
We should be good.
I guess all I wonder is, are we going to stay with that same right angle pump, or we're going to go, is there any way we can go hydraulic on this one, or can we even mess with that?
So we are going to be able to work with one of the pumps, and that's where we're kind of looking still at our costs. Our appraisal for, do you remember, I don't remember which pump it was, but one of the pumps was worth like 60% of the entire existing facility. A new pump was worth over 60%, so we couldn't replace that one. So we're going to replace one of the smaller pumps.
The electric pump?
That's electric, the diesel one.
You're gonna replace a diesel one? Okay.
And that one, we might have it up
To go hydraulic? Okay.
And and we would also be redoing the electric and everything in there, you know, the SCADA system, that are tied to that pump, you know, to upgrade that. And the pumps, you know, for most part work well. Like I said, it's just the water's not going where it's supposed to be going.
Okay. Do you have anything, Myron? I know we've been talking about this one forever. Okay, same here.
And we're working on that right now, so we're, you know, in our geotechnical investigation phase. So we need to do a lot of geotechnical investigation to submit that for the environmental clearance and all of that, because we are working in, you know, waters as part of that. We want to make sure all of that gets cleared and to see, you know, make sure we can do this retaining wall properly, and of course not affect the environment as well. You know, and we don't anticipate that. You know, we've done a lot of projects, you know, in bays, channels. We will have to do some temporary cofferdam and kind of pump out some of the water, but we are going to have to make sure that we protect all the living organisms in there existing.
Okay. All right. You guys have anything?
Nope.
That's your baby, man. I don't know
Yep.
nothing about it.
All right,
Your
thank you
baby,
so much,
Jason.
sir.
And once we
Appreciate it.
have,
Thank
once we
you.
have our 60%, or even, you know, sooner than February, we'll be giving them to David and Mary to pass along to y'all. And we're more than welcome to come and do another presentation if you'd like.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, and I guess everybody's got the reports,
Yes,
right?
the reports are submitted in your agenda packet.
Okay, all right, now we're moving to the consent agenda. And we need the approval for the following meeting minutes: regular meeting minutes, September 2nd, 2025, special council meeting minutes, September 10th, 2025, regular meeting minutes, November 17th, 2025, and special council meeting, November 19th, 2025. And do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the following minutes: the regular meeting minutes, September 22nd, 2025, special council meeting minutes, September 10th, 2025, regular meetings minutes, November 17th, 2025, and special council minutes, November 19th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move into consider and act on a request from Hector Rios for hotel occupancy tax funds in amount of $4,000 for the Aransas Pass Migration Celebration event held on October 11th through the 12th of 2025.
Thank you, council. The Migration Festival is I kind of changed it up from birding. I know I'm a big bird guy, and I'm always bird this, bird that. But birding is a $6 billion business between us and the Rio Grande Valley. So there is a huge market. Our surrounding cities are up in their 20th, 30th, 40th annual events where we've never had one whatsoever. So that's why I went ahead and said, let's see if we can pursue this to make this a viable base for birders. I wanted to do something just a tad bit different than everybody else, which that's why I went with the migration species, a migrating event over a birding event. That way we could also celebrate our monarch butterflies, which is our state insect, of course the birds, our beloved redfish, and also, if anybody's ever seen it, but the cow-nosed rays, they will school in Con Brown Harbor before they exit out into the Gulf on their way to the Caribbean, which I think is just amazing. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it before. Have you seen it? That is just, wow, that's just really incredible. So I came up with more of a migration celebration versus a birding celebration. It didn't go, of course not as good as I'd like, but we did have some pretty decent attendance. And this wasn't like someplace where you pay $10 at the gate, you might buy something, you might not. These were all sold seats. So our price point of per capita was up there much more. Everybody was paying $60 per seat to sit in here versus, paying to get into a fair, maybe buy something, maybe not. So we did have a higher price point right there. I've done many events in the past, and I guess I'll go ahead and get right into now that I explained any questions about the event itself why I made a migration. Okay. Usually I use Facebook, which ain't too bad. I've done that in the past for all of my events. I've raised lots of thousands of dollars, probably more in the tens of thousands of dollars for local charities here in Aransas Pass, and Facebook's pretty good. Now this year though, I did want to try some media, and that's where I did, and that's where that 4,000 comes in. And with that being said, this is a request, okay? I do not expect to get that. I know where that comes from, even though the city, you say getting it from the city, I know who it's coming from. I know who it's coming from, so I don't expect, but with that being said, we had some very good impressions. We had, I think, over 140,000 impressions where the commercial got put into households. We were on Ein Television, Ein Mystery, Pluto, Fubo, Roku channel, Samsung Plus, Tuba, Court TVs with, I don't know if you have some of this information, but we did put out some really good hits for the city of Aransas Pass. Y'all did see the commercial, correct? I sent the commercial?
Yeah.
Yes, and you
It
did
was
see the
nicely done.
commercial and how the commercial does state Aransas Pass. Also had a strategy worksheet that was given to me by Channel 6, and it asked me, okay, what's the big things that you want from this? And if you look on that worksheet, I stated to make Aransas Pass look like a tourist destination. Do whatever we can for Aransas Pass. So I made sure that we definitely included signs for the city of Aransas Pass, the Lighthouse Lake Trails, which is very, very super unique for the city of Aransas Pass. There's nothing else like it in the entire state of Texas. And with that being said, I am kind of basically looking at reimbursement for the event as mine, because I do know there were some concerns. We do not have a birding boat here. The birding boat was in Fulton. Okay, let me put that clear out there. All the kayaking, which was 2 days, I did 2 different tours, 2 days, was done here in Aransas Pass. Okay, so we did have people coming in. I did block hotels and do all that good stuff, but I got into a little problems in some of the paperwork that I sent you. I made reservations back in February. And then as the time approached, I started trying to contact the young lady. She wouldn't email me. I was like, what is going on? So I finally went over there, and it wasn't until then I was there in person that they told me, well, that she doesn't work here no more. So I had to start all over. So I got a little bit short on reserving the hotel. So I had a little bit of problems there. As far as I know, I don't know if anybody stayed there. The report, I don't think I managed to get anybody to stay there, unfortunately. All my people that went on the tour were all going to Port Aransas. Now that particular weekend was the Kite Festival. So I had to really compete with a big event. But let's face it, we have to, because Port Aransas and Rockport are doing something just about every single weekend. So if we're gonna sit there and let's try to do something where they're not happy, it's not gonna happen. We have to compete. So that's why I stuck with the date, and it also was the day of World Migration Celebration Day. So I wanted to keep in with that whole theme. So that's why I had to do that. Now, the good thing about it, all that extra ferry traffic, is that all my people they were hungry when I got them off that water. They went ahead and said, where do you recommend here in Aransas Pass? I said, Chandler's, Coasters. So all my people, most of them, as far as I know, and I've seen them, all came to Aransas Pass to eat cocktails, etc. Whatever they bought. Captain Tommy, who runs the skimmer, he ran on the south side of Redfish Bay. So, like I said earlier, wasn't that portion of it was not directly in Aransas Pass, and that's why I am stating that I do not expect this total. I gave this total because that was the cost of the commercial. Now, in all reality, with Channel 6, they were a little bit hard to work with. When I was asking for reports, they'd send me a little email with it. I was like, no, I want a report. Show me all this stuff. They were a little bit hard to work with, and the young lady that I started working with, well, guess what? She was no longer with Channel 6 by the time this happened. So that's another person that I had to work through new people. And I waited so late is because They didn't give me any reports until the end of October. They do it on a monthly basis. Knowing what I know now, I'd rather pound for pound, Facebook is pretty good compared to what this did. It was only about a month's worth of advertising, or actually a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. They got a lot of showings. It did okay. If y'all saw the commercial, it's really pretty cool commercial. It really looked good. But knowing what I know now, I think I would probably just stick with, just Facebook. I've done pretty well in the past with it. I don't think I'd ever try to attempt to do an event such as this unless I'm piggybacking on something else. And I would love the city have like a multi-outdoor expo, something like the type that the Texas Parks and Wildlife used to do in Austin every single year, where we have our duck hunters there, our anglers there, a boat show there, kayak tournaments, fishing tournament, doing what we do here in Aransas Pass, which is fish outdoors. That's what we are. We're not industry. We're kind of the outdoor fishing place to go. So to attract some people here, and of course the birding would be great in something like that. And also, we gotta face it, is that if the events really don't have the bands and the beer, people don't really kind of come and show. We are competing with some major contenders. Port Aransas is 7 million already in hot. Everybody, both of us beside us, over 1 million. I don't even think we've hit 500,000 yet. So there's something wrong because.
Mr. Rios.
Yes, ma'am.
I just kind of wanted to reiterate what Mr. Rios was saying about the event. It was held over a 2-day period. One day it was held in Fulton Harbor. The second day was held here at Lighthouse Lakes. In order to be eligible for hot funds, the event must be held in Aransas Pass. He is asking for $4,000 for advertising. Advertising is eligible use under the hot funds. But I did want to make that distinction, about the two events.
And I'm not saying anybody's vote, but is that okay to do what, if the council's good with that, of giving him half of it, is that okay?
He did pay $4,000. It was, one day was in Fulton, one day was in Aransas Pass. That is at the council's discretion. One event was held in Aransas Pass.
Okay.
That's what I was just fixing to ask you, Hector.
Yeah.
And to speed things along, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a motion that
Well, I have a question.
You
Yes,
can do it
please.
after my
Go ahead.
motion, please.
Okay.
Make a motion that we pay Hector $2,000, half of it for the event that occurred in Aransas Pass
Okay.
and not Fulton.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Please.
I wasn't in this seat when you came up and asked the council for this amount. As far as I know, he was the first one that wasn't given the money in advance, right? Other events give them the funds in advance, but he was required to produce receipts and invoices for his event, right?
If I recall, the motion that was made, or the statement that was made when Mr. Rios presented, was that this was the first time he had held these events. He had never come to council. He had never held those events. So what the council said at the time was, let him hold the event, and then after he holds the event, come back for reimbursement.
Was it specified at that time that you had to have the event in Aransas Pass as opposed to having it split up between Aransas and Fulton? Did they specify that
No.
at the time?
No.
Yes, because you had another event where you had submitted, and that was in shirts, and you had
Yes,
four
yes,
events.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
You had
So,
four
yeah,
events.
yeah.
and
But
at
for
that
this
Mm-hmm.
migration, was that specified during the council meeting? Was that told to Mr. Rio saying, hey, you have to 100% hold that event in Aransas Pass? Was that told to him?
I don't believe he said that the event was going to be in Fulton Harbor.
It doesn't matter, that's the rules.
Okay.
And
you-
like I says, I don't expect you get, whatever. I am
Uh-huh.
requesting. That's it. If I get nothing, that's fine. But I do want to go ahead and add that anything reimbursed is going 100% directly back into Aransas Pass. I'm either Christian Service Center, the Sue Benson Animal Shelter, Woody.
You're big on educating the youth here. I mean, even I've seen some things like even that San Antonio is doing, and doing some education as far as, you know, the environment and the migration, something like that, and getting them involved would be really neat if that was a possibility, like in the future. That
Yes,
would be
absolutely,
nice
we can do that.
to do something
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
That was the question I had, whether that was specified to him.
Yeah.
No,
know
it
where
was
money's
not,
coming
because I
from.
don't believe he said that the
Yeah.
event would be held in
I
Fulton.
vaguely remember the meeting. I wasn't in it, but
I remember, I
Um,
just don't remember that specifically.
Hector, I got
Yes,
a
ma'am.
question for you.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Are you know for a fact, like, nobody stayed in Aransas Pass?
No, I don't know
I
for
like
a
it.
fact.
Okay.
I didn't.
Because I was looking at them and it looks like, I mean, you just know they didn't do that block.
Yes.
Okay, which
I just
that
know
doesn't
I-
mean
yeah.
they didn't stay
And
with
I-
your block.
Spoke to one lady that said that she liked staying here in Aransas Pass, whether she stayed that time.
Gotcha.
Or previous was, you know, a
Yeah, because I
previous
see
visit.
most of the people that did yours, a lot of people were from out of town. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't know with that because that was
Just
going to
get
be a
the
little
boat.
tough.
Just buy a boat.
Yeah.
Well, I find it hard to believe that nobody stayed in Aransas Pass. I find that really hard to believe.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. You know, I can kind of ask,
Yeah.
but you know, I don't want to get too.
No, I mean, I don't know
hey,
how
where'd you stay at
I don't know
last
how
night, you know.
I don't know how
So,
they provide that anyways, unless there's a block and somebody stays in it. But like, people are gonna stay where they want to stay.
yeah, even on some of my
or an
release
Airbnb,
forms,
or you know what I mean. I don't know
Yeah.
how we would know.
they don't give all the info, and I don't blame them.
Maybe just in the future, just let it, you know, just so that that's stated and you're not, you know,
Mhm.
putting so much of your own funds into an event
I agree.
and then
I
not
feel
being
like-
reimbursed, because that's not what I'd like to do. I'd like to make sure you're getting reimbursed for your work, you know. But I'm going to go ahead and second Randy's motion.
Okay,
For-
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Hector.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we're gonna move into consider and act on an ordinance of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 21A by adding pedestrian rules and by including Section 4, waiver of permit and administrative fees for nonprofit organizations, providing for severance, notice, and penalty, and declaring an effective date and repealing conflict. I think I did it right.
Mayor, this is a case where the council dealt with this ordinance maybe, I think, the second meeting in November. And back then, we had included certain intersections that I think the council wanted to include in this ordinance. And after looking at it and several, so much discussion on that, it was council's, suggestion that to go ahead and eliminate those intersections and just make it applicable throughout the city, right? As well as go ahead and waiving certain permits, or these permits for nonprofit organizations, which is what we added at the end there. Any nonprofit organizations will be, all these permits and administrative fees will be waived as long as they fall within that provision.
Can I ask a question?
No.
No, wait. Are we notifying the school board of them having to come before the permit and get that permit? Have we?
No, we haven't, but we can send them, after the action today, we can, send them a letter or
send them a
copy of
letter
the
so that
ordinance,
all
yes.
of the
Maybe
all
also
of the
put a notice
organizations are aware that
on-
they would have to
Yeah.
come get that permit
Okay.
ahead of time.
I was gonna say maybe put a notice on the
Maybe
Facebook page just for
The Facebook page
like,
too.
the youth groups
Because
and
I know
stuff
like
like
the,
that, so it's
the
out there.
Moose Lodge does things, you know,
Mhm.
as well, so, yep.
Okay.
So we have a motion?
I make a motion to consider and act on an ordinance of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 21A by adding pedestrian rules and by including Section 4, waiver of permit and administrative fees for nonprofit organizations, providing for severance, notice, and penalty, and declaring an effective date and repealing conflict. Effective date of 12/15/2025. Is that right?
I'm sorry.
Today's date? Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move into consider an act on an ordinance of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, amending the code of ordinances by adding Chapter 12, license and business regulations, regulating short-term rentals, establishing, hang on, I'm lost, parking requirements, noise and nuisance standards, insurance requirements, hotel occupancy tax collection requirements, enforcement procedures, penalties, and appeals, providing for severability, providing a penalty, and providing an effective date.
I swear
Bless
I
you.
didn't read that. Any of that.
I know I
So, as y'all are aware, this was brought forward at the last workshop meeting. Nothing was changed as far as the ordinance that was brought to y'all goes. I believe everybody was pretty much in favor of what was on the original ordinance. The only thing that I did add to it was an effective date, which would be February 1st of 2026. That way we give the public time to come forward and register for the short-term rental registration. We are also going to be producing just a short flyer, 1-page paper on the utility bill. That way it's out there to the public, and we also want to be putting it on social media here pretty soon.
Okay.
Joseph, I got one question for you.
Go for
This
it.
is the only thing that I started thinking about afterwards. In other cities like Port, they have so many short-term rentals there.
Absolutely.
When they first start, is there an inspection done? That's the only thing that bothers me. I just feel like
Yes.
they do.
So in order
Okay.
to obtain that registration, that permit
They
to
do
be
do
a
an-
short-term
an
rental,
original inspection.
either myself or code enforcement will be doing a safety inspection, basically,
safety-
making sure
okay.
that the space that's
I
gonna
just
be
wanted to make
rented
sure
out
we
is
weren't
safe.
doing any kind of like overreach or, I don't
Yes,
know. Okay. I'm good.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a
I'm
motion.
not reading that.
What did you say?
I said, I'm not reading that. I can't even
Oh,
read.
I make a motion to act on an ordinance of the City of Aransas Pass, Texas, amending the Code of Ordinances by adding Chapter 12, license and business regulations, regulating short-term rentals, establishing definitions, permit requirements, inspections, fees, occupancy limits, parking requirements, noise and nuisance standards, insurance requirements, hotel occupancy tax collection requirements, enforcement procedures, penalties and appeals, providing for severability, providing a penalty, and providing an effective date as February 1st, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Okay.
So are we gonna have any guidelines as to how many short-term rentals we're gonna allow and so forth, or is it just open season?
Well, that's a whole different discussion.
This
I mean,
is
it's
just setting the registration for short-term rentals. We never talked about a limit on
Yeah,
short-term
if you want
rentals.
to talk about in the future, you just get it put on. That's something
do it on
we'll
a
talk
Well,
about.
I think it's imperative that we discuss that so we don't find ourselves in a pickle as some of our neighbors have.
What about if we give you an update, like every quarter? Would that be?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, or
What
if you want, you can get it put as a discussion item on a future agenda. That way we can.
I mean, I don't wanna give people the impression they're come in and buy a plan for short-term rentals.
I can absolutely provide some type of report on what's coming in through our department, quarterly, bi-monthly, however y'all want.
So.
We actually need to check the law on that. I don't know if it changed back, but I know they made a
So
law.
I also
Yeah.
would like,
I don't think that we can regulate
if,
that.
are we mandating that if somebody wants to come in and purchase a property for short-term rentals, that they have to go in front of P&Z? So we know ahead of time what's coming in?
Can't, it's
That would
just,
be illegal.
No.
Why?
because there's
Because
no
it's not-
zoning for short-term rentals.
It's not considered commercial
Residential.
property or business or anything like that. It's still considered a residential
considered
property, and
residential.
they're in their every right to.
Yeah, a few
have
years
that
ago, they
short-term.
changed the law too, where even HOAs weren't allowed to say you couldn't
Yeah.
short-term rent. But I don't know if that got changed again. I haven't paid close enough attention.
Well, I think this is
They
something
it's
that
still this- you
needs to
can't,
be
right?
monitored.
Yeah. So
And that's
it
the reason
doesn't-
why we brought forward this
Yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah,
is to
that was the
actually
main reason
regulate
that I
and
started talking
make
about
sure
this
it's safe.
years ago, for just kind of start the regulation
Yeah.
process.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's
Yeah,
what
we
this
can-
ordinance does, but we can
Yeah.
provide you with quarterly reports, if that's okay. We can start off with that, as to how many business license we've issued.
But we can't stop, like, if somebody wanted to come in and buy 100 homes and make them all short-term rentals, we can't stop that. Like, it's against the law. Like, we can't tell people what, like, it's capitalism.
Well, the second.
He already did the second.
Any further
You're-
discussion?
Randy already did.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now moving into consider and act on the issuance of a request for proposals for a postcard mural at 361 South Commercial, corner of West Goodnight and South Commercial.
This project was discussed at a workshop meeting a few weeks ago, and there was consensus from the council to move forward with an RFP, and that's what this action is doing. It's just issuing the RFP. I did contact the building owner, and they have granted written approval for us to put the mural there. So at this time, this action is just approving the issuance of the RFP.
Okay.
What's the postcard gonna be?
We don't have the design yet.
Floresville.
So Randy Haskins.
Floresville.
Your photo up there, Randy.
Well, you want the building shot up?
I make a motion on the issuance of a request for proposals for a postcard mural at 361 South Commercial, corner of West Goodnight and South Commercial.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to consider and act on renewal of an agreement with Family Counseling Service for an employee assistant program beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026.
And this is just a renewal of an existing program that we have, which is the Employee Assistance Program. We've had it for several years. It's through Family Counseling Services. The program provides services such as personal, family, financial, or work-related assistance. I can tell you that in 2025, we've had 2 employees that have utilized this Employee Assistance Program benefits for a total of 4 counseling sessions. The program offers 3 one-hour sessions at no cost to the employee. The city covers that cost. After the 3 sessions, the employee is responsible for those sessions if they want to continue them, but they can use their insurance for that. But like I said, we've had this program for a number of years, and this is
Yeah.
just a renewal.
Okay.
I make a motion to consider and act on renewal of an agreement with Family Counseling Service for an employee assistance program beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna move into executive session. And first item of business will be Con Brown Harbor lease, Justin Chandler and Byron Backus, 508 and a half Bigelow. That's a cool address. And second item, potential Con Brown Harbor lease for Justin Chandler. And last will be economic development consultant to discuss current and prospective economic development projects, and it is 7:38. Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session. It is 8:52 PM. And, which one are
We
we
have to wait
acting
for
on?
you, Saucy?
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I make a motion to begin negotiations for a Con Brown Harbor lease with Justin Chandler for property at 508 Bigelow for a total linear footage of 272.26 feet.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And I think with that being said, meeting adjourned.
Mary, I don't want that.